Hi, welcome again to Ink Nouveau, the essence of writing passion. I'm Brian Goulet of the Goulet Pen Company, and today I'm showing you the Clairefontaine Airmail envelopes. Pretty cool little envelopes, very novel, very vintage look to them. They're new envelopes, but they've got that vintage Airmail look of like the 50s and 60s, you know, very cool looking. There's only one problem with these, is they are not available in the United States anymore. So tough luck. If you find any, snatch them up right away because they're not going to be available anymore. They're 90-gram weight paper. They're very similar to the Clairefontaine Triomphe envelopes. I'm going to compare those and show you in just a second here. I'll give you a writing test comparison between that and the Lalo. So here we go with that. The Clairefontaine Prioritaire envelopes, Airmail envelopes. They're made in France, just like all the Clairefontaine products, and they are an envelope, so I'm not going to overcomplicate it. It's adhesive back, so you don't have to lick it, and that's about all there is to it. It's not a security envelope or anything like that. It does have this little gray stuff on the inside. I guess it'll make it harder to read whatever it is you got in there, but that's about it. 90-gram weight paper. Overall, pretty good envelope. I compared them to the Lalo Vergé de France and the Clairefontaine Triomphe envelopes. They are probably closest in comparison to the Triomphe, but I'll show you the writing comparison I did for all three of them. So here's the Airmail envelopes. Overall, performed very well. The ink that I used, Herbin Cacao do Brazil, very nice ink, performs well, has a nice look to it. No feathering or anything like that. Bleed through is not really so much of an issue with envelopes, but there was none anyway. Performed really well. The color shows up very true to a lot of the other different papers that I've used. The only thing I would recommend using, I wouldn't recommend using this ink on the envelopes if you're going to mail it anywhere, because they're not very water resistant. I would recommend using a Noodler's Bulletproof or something like that, a more water resistant ink, or just use a ballpoint if you really want. Those are water resistant as well, or a Sharpie pen or whatever you want. They're very similar. This is the Triomphe envelopes, similar size, you know, almost identical. The Airmail envelopes are just a little bit whiter. The Triomphe has a little bit of a grayish hue to it, and the Airmail envelopes are very smooth, whereas the Triomphe has just a tiny bit of texture to it. Still overall feels very smooth, but has just the tiniest bit of texture. And then the Lalo, the Vergé de France, those are even more textured. If you've ever used the Vergé de France line before, you know that it's a hand-laid type of paper. It's not actually hand-laid, but it's made in that style. So it has a texture to it. It has these, you know, kind of textured lines going down. So that's definitely the most textured. And this is actually the white color, if you believe it or not. It looks like an off-white, but this is the white envelopes. Not as white as the Airmail or the Triomphe. So if you're looking for a little more of an off, you don't want to go quite an ivory, or you don't want to go as far as a champagne or something like that, the Lalo white is just a little bit of an off-white. So that's comparing the three envelopes. As far as the insides go, the nice thing about the Triomphe ones is that it does have a bit of that kind of textured thing to it, so it's a little more security friendly, I guess. And it's got that adhesive strip as well. The Lalo are probably the nicest ones. They've got the little strip there, and it's got actually a liner on the inside. You can kind of crinkles, but you can see it's got kind of that liner in there to give it a little bit of extra protection aside from just the envelope itself. But they're also the more expensive than the rest of them. So that kind of covers most of what I wanted to talk about. You know, these two are both available in the United States. You know, I sell them, other people sell them. You know, no big whoop, get them anywhere. But the Airmail envelopes, unfortunately, are no longer available in the United States. You can get them from overseas, or you might be able to find them in some random stationery stores that still have old stock left over. Or if you want, you know, talk to me, let me know, send me an email, brian@gouletpens.com, and I'll see if I can get my hands on some for you, because I'm maybe willing to do that for you. So anyway, that pretty much takes care of my review here of the Prioritaire Airmail envelopes. Thus concludes my review of the Clairefontaine Airmail envelopes. Thank you to Rena on Fountain Pen Network for sending these samples to me. I do appreciate that, and I'm sure everybody else appreciates that you sent them to me so that I can do this review and share it with everybody. Now, of course, I'm probably going to get everybody all excited about them, and everybody's going to want them, and you know, there's no way to get them, but you know, I may find a way. If there's enough of you out there that really want these things, you know, let me know, and I'll try and find some for you. But otherwise, you know, just this will be more for a historical reference than anything else, and maybe they'll be imported again in the future, who knows. So anyway, thanks again. Let me know what you think. Email me at brian@gouletpens.com. Let me know if you want some of these, and I'll try and rustle some up. Thanks again for sticking with me, and I'll see you next time here on Ink Nouveau.